Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have been really burned out from cooking for years, definitely. The biggest hurdle for me in the last few years has been that we don't have a dishwasher. So I have to wash all the dishes by hand, and every time I've ever lived somewhere that I don't have a dishwasher, cooking is really out of the question. Unless the kitchen is like your happy place, and I'm trying to get like you if you're like that. And also I'm moving towards self-sufficiency. Like in the near future we are getting chickens this spring, so we will have our own eggs. But I want to be making my own bread. I showed in my tapping into spring video about sprouting in jars. That's a routine I want to do. I used to enjoy cooking when I was young. My sister and my cousin and I would find it fun to be like, pretend we're on a cooking show and organize meals. We would make these like chef dinners where we would make an appetizer and an entree and a dessert. And it was fun because it wasn't like an everyday responsibility to be cooking. But now that I'm working a part-time job, I am hoping to be able to find some creative fulfillment in the kitchen. I'm picking back up with this video. I have bangs now. Some things have changed, and my philosophy on video making has changed a lot, where I no longer feel like I need to do these like grand gestures for a video. Like, it's cute, you know, to have a really elaborate recipe. That's kind of how I was gonna approach this video. But instead I'm gonna make it actually practical. And I have been getting really into salads. So I got this romaine lettuce, but what I really love are endives, Belgian endives. In fact, I went on a deep dive on endives, if you know what I mean, and I really want to try growing them actually, because they're from like the chicory family. But I love to get some endives and use my mandolin chopper or slicer, I guess. I like a single serving kind of lettuce size. So I'm gonna use a romaine lettuce head. I like to put a bean in my salad. So I like actually a white cannellini bean. That is really good. Or chickpeas. And I actually have half a can of chickpeas that are in my fridge. And then the other game changer is making your own dressing. I swear. Get some Worcestershire sauce. Am I saying that right? Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Some mayo. Some fresh herbs. Like, what I've been learning is literally any kind of herbs. Like a green goddess dressing is just any mix of herbs. So I have some chives right now, because it's too early for me to be growing anything outside. But I've always been able to like grow parsley, like a lot of parsley, and I don't know what to do with it, but like now I would. You just blend it into your salad mix. And then the other thing that I like doing is making some toasted, like crispy quinoa as kind of a topper. So I'm gonna put that in with the chickpeas, crisp them up, because I like a crunchy, crispy element. I'm gonna put some red onion, whatever I've got. I think cucumbers if I have them. I'm vegetarian also, maybe I should say that. I'm a lifelong vegetarian. My partner is not, but he eats what I cook. He actually likes like the Impossible products, so we'll do like stuffed peppers or you know, burritos or tacos or pasta, or like a soup. Like I could do like tomato soup with like tortellini, or we made like potato soup recently, something like that, and then a salad. To begin my salad making, I need to wash some dishes, and I had to get Brett to get a shot of how Grinchy I look. I'm like Mrs. Grinch with these gloves and sweater. So I start by making my quinoa because it needs to be cooked. I have it cook in broth before I toast it. And as I said, I'm doing the chickpeas on the same tray. I put some olive oil, salt, pepper, and some paprika, and I stick those in the oven because they take a longer time to crisp up while the quinoa is cooking. When the quinoa is done, I put it on that baking sheet, although I should have put olive oil on the sheet because the quinoa did start sticking to it. I don't know why I always forget to do that. And I spread it into a thin layer. Then I start making my actual chopped salad. And this mandolin, if you haven't realized at this point, I go crazy on this mandolin. I love this thing. I hate chopping vegetables. And so I get all of my greens sliced really nice and thin, and I put it into a pretty bowl for you. Then I decided to do tortellini and tomato soup. So first I cook the tortellini, and then I add the soup to cook separately when the tortellini is done. I added red onion to my salad, and this was the only error, is that I put way too much red onion. You can see now that was really, really excessive. I add the tortellini to the soup, and you can see I took out the quinoa and the chickpeas to let them cool off a little bit. To make the dressing, I use garlic, mayo, salt and pepper, a little bit of lemon juice, mustard, like a grainy mustard, Worcestershire sauce, apple cider vinegar, and some olive oil. And you can definitely adjust the ratios of those things. If you want it to be creamier or thicker, then I chop up my chives and I use an immersion blender to mix everything together. And this is the final presentation of the dinner. I know this is not a very complicated dinner. It probably really doesn't warrant its own video, but I feel that it's very manageable and just kind of helps me to have a direction with dinner, and I think it's really tasty. All of these things together makes it feel a bit more kind of thought out. I add some dressing and some cheese, and here's the taste test. The soup could be a little hotter. Do have to say that. White Lotus?
Yes.
Yes, it's White Lotus time.
Mm-hmm.